This episode is sponsored by Deep Tropics, an immersive dance experience in the heart of Music City, Nashville, where party truly meets purpose. Known as the most sustainable festival in North America, Deep Tropics is an energetic celebration of culture, community, and the planet. Catch headliners like Chris Lake, Lane 8, Subtronics, and more August 15th and 16th. Don't escape your reality, create it. Use the link in our show notes for tickets and details.
Digital ads is more of a transaction, right? And ambassadors are more of a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? So turning that relationship into sales for the festival. We just want to make people enjoy the event, and if they can go for free and bring 10 of their friends, then great.
Ever wonder how top DJs actually built their careers?
I had to do 15 years of hard work to get any of the recognition that I wanted.
Where I saw a turning point in my career is when I became true to myself.
From marketing and mindset to networking and negotiation, I'm giving you the tools you need to build a lasting career in dance music.
Give them bits of you and your everyday life.
You have to change the way you view the word no. Like me, I'm encouraged by it.
Join me, Olivia Mancuso, and industry leaders as we reveal what it really takes to turn your passion into profit. This is Elevated Frequencies. Welcome to your weekly elevation, your dose of real strategies for real results in dance music. I'm Olivia, and today I'm talking with Alex Hilburn. He's the co-founder of Surge, a company that has completely flipped the script on event marketing by turning regular fans into ticket-selling ambassadors. And here's what's so wild. While everyone's obsessing over follower counts and trying to crack the algorithm, Surge has proven that a fan with 200 followers can outsell an influencer with 100K followers. They've built a network of people who genuinely love the events they're promoting, and those authentic relationships are driving millions of dollars in ticket sales. And this got me thinking about how artists are approaching fan engagement all wrong. We're so focused on going viral that we're missing the real opportunity, building genuine connections with people who will actually show up in real life for us. Alex breaks down the psychology of what makes people take action, and honestly, it's going to change how you think about building your audience. So let's dive in. Okay, so most DJs and festivals have the traditional way is spend lots of money on ads in hopes of selling tickets, but you guys have found a better way.
Yeah. So Surge is we're at our core a marketing agency, right? We base our sales and our demographic off of the people that surrounds like music and what they are, the ambassadors, influencers, stuff like that. So what we do is we take the excitement of having a bunch of people at the festival and turn those into sellers for the festival, right? Or event, DJ, whatever it might be, venue. We kind of do everything and anything there. But what we are is we're an ambassador-based management firm. We kind of turn the typical fan into a super fan, and then in turn a seller for your festival and an ambassador for that event or whatever that might be.
Okay, so we use that word superfan on the show a lot, which I want to get into. But first, like for the people who don't know, walk me through a campaign. If a festival were to reach out to you, how does it work?
Yeah, so we have a network of anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 Surge subscribers, kind of ambassadors that we've worked with in the past. That number fluctuates quite a bit because of the active events we have. So what we do is we'll sign a client, festival, event, venue. We go to our network and we see who is in the area. We send an onboarding email out. We build a sign-up page, something to build hype around. And then we market it to our fans, and then we have the festival market it however they want to. From there, we build out a full team of ambassadors for that festival, something that kind of differentiates us from any other thing or similar aspect is we recruit. We do all the legwork. We do pretty much everything.
When you say recruit, you're finding the ambassadors for the festival.
Yeah. So our network is great, right? But, every event is different. Every event has its own niche. Every venue is different. Every artist is different. So, just because you have 5,000, 10,000 people in your network, you want to find people that are interested in that event. We do everything from the Premier League soccer to dubstep events to Latin music to just general clubs, right? So those don't really mesh super well. So it kind of it depends on who you're looking for. And that's something that I don't want to say mastered, but we're really good at. finding the correct people for the correct event and turning them into super fans. Even if, events have super fans already, and we like to target those off the rip. But kind of building, and what we specialize in is building new sales, right? That's what everyone wants, is you want new sales. So
where do you find these people, these ambassadors?
Everywhere, right? So Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, or X, Facebook. I mean, we kind of just scour the internet for like-minded people, right? So people that are interested in the Premier League, we go and we search for similar aspects or similar threads that have it, and we reach out.
Wow,
it's a lot of legwork. It's not easy. Promoting has been the same for forever, right? I think people have just moved away from doing the hard work, and they kind of take the easier road, which is fine, right? Like that, if you can sell tickets that way, sell tickets the easiest way you can. But for us, we do a lot of the work, and we're happy to do it. It's what I've done my whole career. So we kind of build from that and help people sell tickets.
So walk me through the numbers.
So for us, we got started 10 months ago. We've done a little over $3 million in sales directly with Surge, and $10 million in sales, including our sister companies in that time.
Wow.
We have, sold probably around 25,000 tickets in that time frame as well. The majority of those sales and tickets being in the last 3 months.
They have to do with festival season. Yeah.
Winter, you know how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we got started right at the end of last summer. So we got lucky and had a few festivals towards the end of that year as case studies, and signed a few really big clients early on. And were able to build out quite the portfolio early. And then when festival season came around, we became a tool for these festivals to use to increase their sales. And we've done a pretty good job with that. We're everywhere from Croatia to South America to all over the US, Italy, France.
Wow. So obviously any startup starts up because there's a problem that needs to be solved. So what was the problem that you saw with the way festivals and even artists have been trying to hawk tickets, for the past 5-10 years?
Yeah. So I think, honestly, it comes with COVID. If you look back, and a lot of the people that I've kind of mentored me, and you hear their stories, they talk about how they were hawking tickets on the street, right? And doing this old school, going door to door. The president of Palm Tree Music Festival has been like a mentor for me my whole career. And I remember him telling me stories of him getting on a skateboard and riding around Malibu or wherever he was, Santa Monica, and doing tickets the old school way, selling tickets that way. We've just modernized that approach, right? I think after COVID, everyone just started running digital ads. Every festival does digital ads and influencers, right? That's it. And that's what we kind of saw.
Can you really quickly explain to people the difference between an influencer and ambassador?
Yeah. So it's a very small, minute detail, and honestly, the term is used kind of for both. But an ambassador is someone who's really interested in the event, right? An ambassador could have 4 followers on Instagram, right?
Yeah, but they could potentially convert all 4.
Our biggest sellers have 1,000 followers, but sell $50,000 worth of tickets because they are going to these events every weekend. They have a massive network of friends, right? In-person friends that they take to these events, right? So for ambassador, there's no follower count that matters. There's the only thing that really matters is whether or not they're interested in the event and whether or not they're a good fit, right? But for us, those terms are kind of loose because you're rewarded based on your sales and what you do. So we try to onboard as many ambassadors as possible, as long as they kind of fit the bill for what we're looking for.
So what does this say? Because, the majority of the listeners here are DJs, but also people who work in the industry. What does this say about fan behavior in 2025 and how they make a decision to go to an event?
Yeah, so I think fan behavior has always been the same. It just kind of modernizes and changes slightly, but you want to go where your friends are going, right? That's always how it's been. Very few times will you have someone go to a show alone, and if they do, it's Yeah, good for them, but like they make friends there. You never go to a show and you're like, I want to not talk to anyone and make
Right.
no friends, right? Like human interaction is natural. So I think for us, it was just like turning digital ads as more of a transaction, right? And ambassadors are more of a relationship,
Yeah.
right? So turning that relationship into sales for the festival. But we just want to make people enjoy the event, and if they can go for free and bring 10 of their friends, then great, right?
So let's talk about like a music festival, house, space, whatever you want to call it. What does a typical ambassador, like what does their profile look like? And then what are they doing for you to make sales?
Yeah, so for us, there's not one mold, right? Like if you're an ambassador, you can sell tickets however you want. We have people that print flyers, go on the street and do it the old school way. We have some that have a larger network of followers, and post on their Instagram, make UGC content like that.
So it would be like what I'm wearing to this festival.
The get ready with me is the typical content stuff that flows into that. We have people that literally just post the lineup 20 times with their code, constant, and it converts, right? If you see conversions that way, great. People take to Reddit. People build blogs. We have people that build websites around it, their own EDM pages. The creativity of people is insane, right? Like you could just kind of see how creative people get to go to and do things they love, which is what we built this for, right? Like we want people to, we give direction, right? Like we say like, hey, these are the things we see works, but like we're never going to stop someone from doing something. Sometimes festivals and events have parameters, like, they don't want sales being stolen or however that, kind of works, which is an issue for that. But, we give them free reign to be as creative as possible.
You mentioned something about, okay, no one wants to go to an event alone, but is there a psychology behind why people would rather buy from like someone who's making that UGC content versus an ad? I think the answer is pretty obvious, but how do you see it?
Yeah, so I think at our core, right, like people want to go with their friends, but at like a more business level, like marketing, there's like 5 or 6 touch points that you need to hit before someone sells something. Like just at the general, like, you see an ad, you're like, oh, cool, festival. See a billboard, you're like, cool, festival. And then you're like, my friend texts me and they're like, hey, I'm going here to this event. Here's my code. You can also get 10% off. The chances of you going become way higher than if you just continue to see a digital ad around it. It just kind of, I don't want to say forces your hand, but like gives you a really steady reason on like why you should go, because you're going to have friends there. But
I think there's also like implicit trust. It's like, oh, someone I know or know of, right? Because these are like, some of these people are micro influencers, or they're also influencers, but they're like really deep in this niche, and so they're like, well, if they're going, then
100%.
then there's a trust.
And it's a festival is kind of like this. I don't want to call it like a big like scary monster, because like it's this big event, right? Like it's faceless, it's nameless. What it kind of does is it gives it this like niche, homely feel, right? Like we chat with all of our ambassadors. We have a personal relationship with everyone we bring on, or at least we try to. They have direct contact with me and my team in all times. So like any questions they have, it's answered immediately. Anything that they need, answered immediately. Like, or we try our best to answer it as quickly as possible, right? So it kind of takes away this idea that like, they're not a part of it, and they themselves feel as though they're a part of this festival and part of this event, and so they feel more attached to it.
And is there a difference in a ticket buyer of someone who just bought from an ad versus someone who bought from an ambassador?
I said this earlier, but the transaction versus relationship, I think that's really important to this model, because if you buy a ticket from a digital ad, you're obviously a fan of that lineup that year or that event that time.
Like you already were going to buy.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It's less of that and more of just like you are interested right then, right at that minute of that event, right? Or you put some thought into it. An ambassador, year over year, turns around and sells tickets for an event because they like that event, right? So like, I'll use Palm Tree as an example just to continue on that route. Like you have a festival in Hamptons. We have one this weekend. So, you build up this ambassador. They have a great time at the show. They post content after the show. And then next year, they turn around and their friends buy immediately upon lineup release, right? Like they become this almost machine for that festival because they love it, right? They had a good time. They went for free. They film content. They are a part of the team. Like they become a part of the festival itself. And I think that's what kind of builds this relationship.
Yeah, and I think there's the larger conversation here about UGC and how powerful it is and how, obviously on your team's end, there's a lot of coordination with all of the ambassadors, but it cannot be overstated how powerful a UGC strategy can be for any artist, any festival.
Yeah, agreed. I think, because you have fans, right? Like a small artist has, their best friends who support them at every show, right? So it's building off of that and creating a network around it, right? Like, your friends go to your show, have them film content, right? Like have them show how fun your shows are so that their friends can go. So that's kind of like how you build off of it. It doesn't have to be this massive festival. It could be small events, right?
Yeah. What does this say about music marketing, like in the future of it? Because it's changing. It's constantly changing. And people are always constantly griping about like the good old days, how easy it used to be. But I think we have more opportunities than ever. It's just those who are willing to get creative are the ones who are going to exceed.
Yeah, I think you kind of answered your question with that. I think you just have to be creative, right? Like there's an inundation of festivals and events, and it's oversaturated in any market. I think there's probably 5 festivals in any city ever now, right? Like at least. So the small markets are no longer small, right? So I think you just have to be creative. You have to unite with the fans, right? Like putting a stage in a parking lot doesn't work anymore, right? Like how can you create an experience for that fan away from just a lineup? And it's something I've been thinking about a lot.
There's an amazing festival here, Arc Music Festival, that I work with them. They are not afraid to have like a brand voice that has strong opinions. Another great festival that does this is it's in Austin. Why do I always blank on the name? I really want to go. Seismic.
Okay.
They have a strong brand voice where they're like beefing with people on Twitter, like cheekily, whatever. But like they're not afraid to be part of the culture. And I think especially a lot of the bigger festivals that are supported by some of, if it's a Live Nation, whatever, they're afraid to do that because it's you have, the brand guidelines are very strict. So this is another way to like be part of the culture conversations and add to it, but also like not putting your own brand at risk.
Yeah, it's a really easy way for people to transition into that. I think that your larger scale companies feel like they don't need to do that, less of like they can't.
I think everyone's going to need to do that in the future. You're not going to, if you don't have like a strong position on something as any sort of creative or even event, that like I do think that that's changing.
I agree. I think that you see massive brands doing it now, like
right?
Even away from the festival world, like Slim Jim and
they all chime in on comments, whatever. Doing it authentically though, like because I think there's a little bit of fatigue with that. Even it's just like how can you, not just like hop on a trend or whatever, but have your own brand voice.
Yeah, I mean, like again, you kind of take away from this faceless entity and you create someone like a conversation, right? Like that's all you need to create a fan or a lifelong buyer is just like interact. Like you see people hate artists and hate people and then they meet them on the street and then bam, lifelong fan.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes. Is just like one interaction of being kind or being different or, just being honest about it.
Yeah.
Changes everything.
Sure. So for the artists who are listening, I want to break down how they can take the principles of what you're doing and apply it to their own events. Now we're talking about artists who are maybe trying to get a couple people to come out to their local gig or they're throwing a pop-up. Let's start with like the overall philosophy. Can you just restate that? And then like, I would love to get into some tips of how artists can kind of adopt this model?
Yeah. So I think like the philosophy is like never think of anyone too small or, too big, honestly, to go to your event and enjoy it. Like your fans are your fans. Treating them as such and with the utmost respect is like important. Don't think that because you're an artist or because you're a festival or anything like that you can, you don't have to interact, right? I think that's just kind of the model. And we like you're small artists who are selling out rooms that 500 people rooms you've never even heard of, but consistently selling out 500 people rooms, or because they're consistently bringing fans, interacting with them, offering cool like experiences and doing cool stuff, and you ultimately see that grow. I think John Summit was doing like how to DJ videos on YouTube before he blew up, right? So it's just like, don't think you're too big for your brand. Always just kind of like take the time to enjoy who's actually going to your shows, who actually enjoys you, and then taking that and elevating it. Like I think an ambassador doesn't have to just be a seller, right? It's just someone who like, again, a super fan.
Yeah, right. A super fan, a stan, whatever. I mean, those are the core people. I have to, I'll put this in the intro or outro. I read a stat recently about how in the toughest economic times, super fans save artists' careers. They keep them afloat. And there's a stat that shows how much money they're willing to spend even in unfavorable economic cycles. And so I think so many artists and events too are concerned with like the, how many, the quantity of people, right? Because obviously you need to cover your cost of X, Y, and Z. But it's like, but if you can convert those, fans into super fans and make them super high quality, that's someone you can rely on like for life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really simple kind of snowball effect, right? If you have 3 or 4 good interactions, you have 3 or 4 good ambassadors that, hopefully they have 10 friends, 40 tickets right off the rip. And then as that kind of grows and you build your ambassador network, like that's the whole goal of what we do, right? Like we want this effect to snowball. Like sign up your friends, right? Like if they want to go for free too, sign them up. Or if they want to be a part of whatever they're doing, merch, song release, anything, right? Like you want them to be a part of something different, right? Like the Telegram, like the being a part of something that everyone else doesn't get to see or doesn't get to be a part of because they're not super active with you, and rewarding them as such.
Yeah. So what are some ways that artists can like start to cultivate their own ambassadors? There's like broadcast channels, there's obviously Discord, but what are your ideas on some ways artists can start to do that?
Besides using us?
Yes, besides, like we're talking about the artists who are maybe trying to like, go like they're trying to get 40, 50 people to show up to a show.
Well, start with your friends, right? Start with the I don't want to call it low-hanging fruit, but start with the things that you know and, the people that love you and your art. And reward them for it. Again, like I said, like start small, see where their interests are, go through their followers, figure out where the interests are there, like why their friends are their friends, build out channels and, get creative with how to promote yourself, right? On your Instagram, like create these social channels where all your information lives, right? And then go there, find out who's interacting and interact back, right? DM them, ask them why they like you, figure it out, invite them to your shows, invite them to your festivals, and just kind of create a relationship with these people, because then in turn, they'll be loyal. They'll be your fan forever, hopefully. And, as that kind of builds and you build out these fan bases, then you'll start to see that it grows, and hopefully it will grow with your career as well.
Yeah. So you said besides using us, does that mean you'll work, like what is the smallest event that you'll work with?
We'll work with anyone. I think success is relative, right? Like we'll try our best and we'll build out as best we can. I mean, some of our events we've sold, over $500,000, and others we've sold 10 tickets. So it just kind of depends on what it is. We'll work with anyone. I don't see any problem with working with anyone. It just kind of depends on what that event might be.
Yeah.
And how successful we can be, or we'll give you the tools to be successful at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you're doing, I don't want to oversimplify it, but you're essentially providing that middleman service that is the hardest thing to do is to go out and find people. I mean, I'm sure there's AI tools to help you scrape data, but you still have to like do the checking, like, oh, is this person actually worth, me reaching out, inviting them to the network? And that's something that, festivals or artists just don't necessarily have the time to do themselves.
Yeah, if you're an EDM fan in the United States or abroad, you probably had someone from my team in your DMs. Like that is just.
I haven't had someone yet.
Well, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. But yeah, we do our best, right? Like it's impossible to hit everyone, and that's kind of like why we rely on the festivals too. The more integrated we get, like the more success you see. I use an example. We did a festival last September. We did probably around $30,000 in sales. This year they brought us on again. I think we've done pretty close to $200,000 in sales, and we still have 5 more months in the festival. So it's just kind of like building that relationship and seeing how integrated we can get. Like we're a part of a lot of these festivals, marketing threads and marketing teams, and we can build off of that and help y'all. And we want to become a team member, right? Like we want to help y'all as best we can.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. I'm optimistic about the future of events. We're in a tough time economically right now. I mean, I've had so many conversations with my friends who are event producers who are like testing the prices of tickets. Like my friend the other day was like, Olivia, if I do $1 above like $32, my tickets sales plummet. But if I just, so everybody is like testing and adjusting and working with the times, but it's not a forever thing. And I think now is like the most important time to get creative.
I agree. Yeah, I think, it's never a bad time to get creative, that's for sure. But right out of COVID, I think people got complacent because everyone wanted to just go to events, right? So you could run a digital ad and your ROAS or your return was insane, right? Like, but now there are 40 events and 10 concerts and all sorts of events happening every weekend. People don't want to just look at a digital ad, right? They want to go to a show. We're more or less in an economic, downward approach, but people want to spend their money on something they really want to go to and not just to get out of the house. Right. Because there was a time where people just wanted to go to get out of the house. Right.
Yeah. And the onus is on the event producer or the artist or whatever to do the convincing.
Yeah.
Because there are so many events that are worth it, but like you have to prove why yours is better.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of where we come in and we help. I mean, we learn a lot about the festival. We learn everything we can. And we create, a constant stream of interest in that show, right? Like if we're constantly talking in a group chat about a festival, like they're constantly producing content for it or posting instead of running a digital ad on some sort of schedule. You're on a content schedule on your Instagram where you're pushing out content that's like pretty generic. And that's good. That's like what you need to do from your festival. But it just allows another leg and another creativity that, not many festivals are offering, if any, outside of what we offer.
Yeah. Last question for you. What do you think? Can you just quantify the opportunity that festivals and artists might be missing out on if they don't start to implement more creative strategies to sell tickets?
Yeah, as morbid as this is, like a lot of festivals close their doors, right? Like it's not a great time to throw events right now. It is, but it isn't. We just I want every event to be successful. I think everyone does. I don't think anyone's out there being like, I don't want to go to this. But you want to just create a network where, you have loyal fans. Festivals, big festivals been going for years, right? Bonnaroo, Electric Forest, these festivals have loyal fans and, they do something, they offer some sort of on-site that's, uncomparable to anything else. But, for smaller festivals and niche boutique festivals, you have to get people in the door to show your difference. And I think that getting creative with your marketing strategies and having a pre-built kind of fan base to elevate yourself definitely helps. And however you want to get creative and however you see fit, I think that just running digital ads and running, your traditional marketing strategies just does not work anymore.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations on your success.
Well, thank you. This was awesome.
That's your weekly elevation. You know what really hit me about this conversation? We've gotten so caught up in digital metrics that we've forgotten the power of genuine human connection. Alex's point about people wanting to go where their friends are going, that's not just about events. That's literally everything in music. The artists who last aren't the ones with the most followers. They're the ones who figured out how to turn casual listeners into people who actively champion their music to their friends and peer groups. That is the real game changer. Remember, success in dance music isn't about luck, it's about strategy. I'll talk to you next week.